that's you. 3 takes, not me. 2 takes if you lucky. First take, stop me. 4 takes, that's you. 3 takes, not me. 2 takes if you lucky. First take, you got me.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're back for another installment of the Cobb and Dash Show, exclusively on the Basement League Plus, as well as the Basement League Facebook page. Barry is going to be our main co-host tonight. Alex is busy right now. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's busy trying to get his team back together because that's where he's at right now, poor guy. Feel bad for the kid. And then Cobbs, obviously, everyone knows he's in Portugal, as he made his appearance known last week when he came on for a little bit. And I hope he's doing well. He's playing me this week. He won last week, so he gets to save his life a little bit in the league. But how you doing, Barry? Everything all right?
Hey, I'm doing awesome. It was a great week last week, so I'm excited for this week.
Yeah. And how you feeling about being a co-host this week, buddy?
Hey, well, I'm glad to be here. I love it. So let's do it.
That's good stuff. Yep. So obviously the new thing this year was the chug for the low score. I did it. Barry did it last week. And who else has done it?
Ruben.
You're right. So now we got ZT. ZT's not going to be coming on the show today, but he was able to send in a little something to us, so we can kind of experience his chug. It's good stuff. I got to speak a little bit of it. A lot to say on it, but yeah. So before we get into that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a word from our sponsor, Marcusberry Fitness. Sponsors the weekly chug, the low score chug, and it's good stuff. Anybody who's trying to get fit for Halloween coming up, want to fit in your costume, look nice, give Marcusberry a little shout, and he'll hook you up. So here's a word from our guy Marcusberry.
Another one of my favorite workouts is the reverse lunge. The way we're going to do this is we're going to step on the resistance bands, and then you're going to place one of your feet backward. And then once you do that, you're going to raise up the bands all the way up to your shoulders, and then you're going to squat down, okay? You're going to start your lunge. So you're going to make sure your knees are over your toes, and then get in your lunge position and squat down. Making sure your thighs are parallel to the ground.
And that's Marcusberry Fitness, folks. Like I said, if you're interested in getting fit, contact our guy Marcusberry on Instagram, or you can just text him. Everybody in this league has his number. So, all right. So with that being said, we got the low point score video that ZT sent in. This is some good stuff. There's a lot to talk about here, so I'm gonna let it roll, and you tell me what you think about ZT on this, because there's a lot to go on here, but I'm just going to let you guys be the judge here. So you guys watch and let me know what you think about this one. So here's ZT with the low point score chug.
Go.
It's been a tough road so far. Lost 2 games back and combined 5 points, and I got Londoned, but I got to do what I got to do. So cheers. Congratulations, Stu.
Go, Stu.
Oh my God.
Come on.
I'm not built for this. I can't chug it. Bottlenecked. Ah. Oh my God. I'm doing my best. I don't want to hear your shit, Dash.
We're at the 1 minute mark.
Oh my God. All right, we're done. Woohoo.
Turn it off now?
Yes, please.
Okay, bye. Bye, guys.
So, Tasia, that was ZT's chug. And like I said, there's a lot to talk about with this one because he couldn't come on the show today, so he sent in his video. So he's in the driver's seat and he's chugging a brew at like 2 p.m. I mean, I think it was even earlier than 2 p.m. actually. It looks like he's also in the middle of like Cox Farms. It looks like who's chugging a brew at noon at Cox Farms on a Thursday in the driver's seat. What's going on here? What do you think, Barry?
I don't know. A ton of question marks there, but he did finish the brew. But
it took him a while. It took him about a minute. His girlfriend Crystal was narrating that.
Yeah, definitely an interesting setup there.
Yeah, very weird. Notation, that was a Corona. ZT's beer of choice is a Corona. He used to go to Hard Times to get $4 Coronas on Wednesday nights back in the day when he was at Mason for a year. He used to always talk about Corona specials at Hard Times. So good for ZT. But yet weird setup there. We're talking drinking while in the driver's seat. We're talking at Cox Farms, it looks like, or some plantation that he's on. And then we're talking about at noon on a Thursday. I mean, hey, I give the kid props. Yeah, it's kind of key. I give the kid a lot of props for that. But yeah, so you didn't see the lime in his bottle? Yeah, there was a lime in the bottle, but I think there was just kind of like a last second thing. They just grabbed the Corona and then he just went with it.
That's a very good point. I didn't see the lime either, so I don't know.
Yeah, but damn, he took a long time drinking that thing.
Yeah, he did.
I think he was drinking poison. It was really rough.
Good minute, yeah. Everyone
Poor
else
guy.
on the challenge fucking took it like a champ. So
yeah, I mean, I had the one stop, but that was it. I had one stop. He had 8 stops. Poor guy. I hope he's doing well. I hope he didn't get shit faced from that. Right. Anyone who doesn't know ZT's a lightweight, so one little sip could get this kid knocked on his ass. Just throwing that out there for everybody. But
I'll be honest. Even last week during the show, I was feeling the buzz there. So
really.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll be honest.
Well, that's, you were empty stomach. ZT was clearly doing, ZT was doing it at noon on a Thursday. Yeah, he's never chugged from a beer. That's from a bottle. Yeah, that's definitely true. I don't think he's ever chugged before, ever. He doesn't look like a chugger. ZT's definitely not a chugger. He's more of a, maybe, let it simmer. Yeah, and nurse it. He's more of a nurse. Nick Nurse.
Ooh.
Yeah. Good call out. But we got a lot to talk about this week. So before we get into the show, we're going to talk about our week 4 takeaways. Each of us will have one. My biggest takeaway is sad for me to say because I was the one who started this trend. It's safe to say that Marcus Berry name the 100% of making the playoffs is in jeopardy. Our guy Alex is on the show, and it's no surprise he's not on the show this week when he's 1-3 buried in the hole, and I think 10th place right now, maybe even lower than that. Yeah, it's no surprise he's not on the show, and I think he's not going to make the playoffs this year, so I think it is in jeopardy. There's even talks of him possibly changing his team name, so the Marcus Berry thing still stands as far as the playoff teams with the name Marcus Berry in it. But yeah, I think the big story is Alex, a guy who loves fantasy more than anybody I know, who kind of talks about fantasy in fucking February when the season's just over. And he's like, oh, you see new rankings and stuff. I was like, dude, no, I'm not looking at the rankings till there's new acquisitions on the teams and stuff. I'm not doing that. But across his leagues, it's a rough year for him. 1-3 in most of the leagues I'm seeing that I'm in with him. And I'm in 3 or 4 leagues with him. So yeah, Alex and the Marcus Berry, a team name playoff record is in jeopardy with Alex. But at least we got Stu with the Marcus Berry team name, and he's looking pretty good. So it's nice to see the top 2 rankings in our league as both have Berry in their name. So that's one thing. What's your takeaway from week 4, Barry?
Yeah, my biggest takeaway is the Hotch game. I called it last week on the show. Hotch wins with no explanation behind it. Hotch got the highest score last week. So his team scored 185 against Cobb's 129. So pretty significant victory for Hotch there. And Hotch typically gets hot around this time of season. So I was right on the money with that. So
yeah, you were. And I gotta say, man, Hotch sometimes finds a way to do it. You look at his team, it's not you one thing, say, oh, that's good. And he even thought he was gonna maybe be done this year. He thought he was gonna be maybe a fringe playoff team. He wasn't high on his team, and right now we were talking the other day. He's like, I'm surprised that he's got the scoring for this week. So he's a good kid. I'm actually rooting for him. Usually I'll root against him. I'm rooting for him. Him, and Roden. I used to say they're the GOP of the Basement League Plus. I'm boys with those guys. Those are my guys, dude. I'm more of a middle of the road guy now. Maybe I'm a Joe Manchin of the Basement League Plus now. I want to hear what Stu has to say about that, but I think I'm a middle of the road guy now. Those guys are great guys. But we're gonna go to the week 5 preview part of the show. And Barry, I'm going to let you do the honor since you're the first time being the co-host of an episode. I'm going to let you do Dash v Cobb for the Week 5 matchup. It's the main co-host of the Cobb and Dash show. It's usually a very big one. So yeah, talk about Dash and Cobb.
Sure. So this one is kind of like the Chiefs and the Buccaneers game on Sunday. They get the rematch from the Super Bowl a couple years ago. So, I think in this matchup, there's going to be a lot of points. Both sides here can definitely score a lot. You have Mahomes against Russell Wilson. This is a big week for Russell Wilson. I feel like as bad as the season he's had, I feel like this is the game where he actually steps up. And Mahomes is playing the Vegas Raiders there. I think there's going to be a lot of points in that game, and I think in that division, we'll see again who Patrick Mahomes is. So I'm going to take Mahomes in that matchup, and then Debo against Courtland Sutton. I like Debo here. Debo is great, and like he had an awesome game last week with that ridiculous touchdown grab he had. It was pretty insane to see. But I like Debo in that matchup. And then Zeke versus Melvin Gordon. This is where I scratch my head. I'm not a big Melvin Gordon, especially with all the fumbles he had over the last couple weeks. Is he really the main guy over there? That's a big question mark that we're going to have to find out today. Even with Javonte definitely being touring his ACL. I think in this matchup here, it's got to go to Zeke. Then Kelsey versus Higbee. I'm taking Kelsey all the way. Even though Cooper Kupp with the Rams, he gets all the receptions or all the targets really, but also with Higbee too. He's the real number 2 receiver over there. CEH versus Mixon. I love Mixon. I think Mixon's going to have a big matchup, a big play this week. So I think I'm taking Mixon there. And then Cooper versus Dalvin Cook. There's another question mark here. We have Dalvin Cook, who's been on the injured list. Is Madison the guy? I think we'll find out this week. I think we'll find that out this week. And then we have Mostert versus James Robinson. James Robinson, I think he might have been the steal of the draft here. So Etienne's clearly not the guy right now for the Jags. So I think Robinson's going to have a big game and gets a shitty run D. So with all doing that, like I said earlier, I think there's going to be a lot of points here. This is one that I think Dash wins in a high-scoring affair. I'm going to go 145 to 138.
All right, I like it. I mean, tonight's going to be a big night for Cobb. Yeah. We'll know if Cobb's going to lose tonight, I think. Right? I mean, it's safe to say that.
Most definitely, because without that triple stack right there, yeah, if Melvin Gordon shits the bed, fumbles on the first play, yeah, dude, and he gets yanked he's going to be a really short leash. Or if he gets yanked for the rest of the game, Cobb might be in trouble there. So, but
I mean,
what's up?
I mean, let's be honest. The lineup that he has in there right now, that's the lineup he's going to be going with. He's at a wedding right now. The dude's 10 beers deep. I got a Snapchat of the guy. He can hardly stand. It's crazy. He's at a wedding in Portugal right now. I just got a snap from the guy.
It is wedding season.
Yeah, depends where you are, but yeah, in Portugal, it's definitely wedding season. But yeah, I'll say this: I agree with your take here. I think I do win. I think much like the Buccaneers Chiefs rematch, which you mentioned, I lost 2 years ago in the championship. Chiefs lost 2 years ago in the Super Bowl. What happened on Sunday?
They bounced back.
Back. I think I'm gonna, and I think last year actually when I played him, I beat him. The only time we faced each other, I beat him last year. So, I've had my way with a guy over the years, maybe not in the championship 2 years ago, but yeah, I think I'm going to win the matchup. I think the triple stack, I'm not buying the Broncos offense. I do think Russ Wilson has a decent game tonight, but not like anything special. And yeah, I think I win. I don't think it's going to be as close. I don't think he's going to put up points as you think. I think it's going to be a 145 to 118 kind of game. Because I think those 3 guys right there, if there's a bottom tier of offenses that I don't want to be any part of, the Broncos would make that list. That's an offense I don't want any part of. So that's where I stand on that. All right. So next matchup, I'll do the honors of doing you, Barry. These are the co-host tonight. I'm gonna Barry versus CT. The two lone black guys in our group in our league are going against each other this week. So it's the battle of the brotherhood. I'd have to say, right? What do you think about that? Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. ZT be proud, Mr. BLM. If anybody who doesn't know that story, CP wanted to donate our winnings to the BLM stuff, which, hey, I donated to it. I just wasn't going to donate our winnings to it. You know what I mean? Anyway, so we got Barry versus ZT. And we got Kyler Murray. It's just like ZT and Barry. We got Lamar versus Kyler, two of the better African American quarterbacks in the league. This is cool. They're going against each other in this one. This is a tough one. Philadelphia's defense is really good, and I'm going to have to say, and Lamar's been dominating. Although, if you look at Cincinnati's record against Lamar, they shit on Lamar. Lamar doesn't do dick against Cincinnati, but it's a different Lamar. Lamar's trying to get guaranteed money this year. So I'm going to go Lamar, and Philly's defense has looked really good. So we're going to go Lamar in that one. Devontae Adams on Monday night versus Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown's not playing. He's already been ruled out, I believe. He did not practice again, and apparently that's like not good. What I read online earlier is he's probably not going to play. So Amon-Ra out. It didn't matter if he played or anyway. I was going to go Devontae Adams, but the fact that Amon-Ra's not playing, he's got to go to his bench. He's got a deep team though.
He does.
Eckler and Saquon. Green Bay has a good defense. Eckler, Cleveland. I'm going to go Eckler actually. And everyone's sucking Saquon's balls again. I'm going Eckler in that one. Even though Saquon does lead the league in rushing, doesn't matter. It's a London game. London games are usually paid very low, so take the under in that game. Or maybe buy some points, then take the under. An alt under for that game. I like it. Zach Ertz, Dawson Knox. Give me Zach Ertz. Tyreek Hill, Metcalf. Although Tyreek Hill was just added to the injury report. Curious to see where that goes. Usually late adds to the injury report aren't a good sign. But let's keep an eye on that. But all things considered, I'm going to go with Tyreek Hill and expect that he plays. Last time he played the Jets, blew him up when he was in Kansas City. I think he had like 2 bombs for touchdowns in that game. It's good stuff. So then we got Juju and Kamara. Man, Kamara hasn't been Kamara this year, man. He's barely played. His 2 games, he's combined for 13 points in the 2 games he's played. Yeah. Good thing is if he does play, he's playing against Seattle. He was limited in practice today. Seattle's defense is atrocious. So I'm going to go Kamara, obviously, over Juju. Then you got Miles Sanders versus Ramondre Stevenson. Miles Sanders looks like he's back. And he's also going against a really shitty run D in Arizona. So I'm going to go Miles Sanders. I think Barry wins. And I honestly don't think it's close. I actually like the projection here at 12 points. I think maybe a 20-point victory. I'm going to go Barry here 138 to 108. Yeah, I think ZT's had a lot of close losses, but I think this week's going to become a blowout loss more than a close one. So, Barry, what do you think about my projection for you? What do you think about your matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I like your projection there. Me and ZT's matchup over the last 5 or 6 years been back and forth. I remember last year was a very pivotal. I think he started 3-0, and it was a very pivotal part of my season where I was able to beat him and knock him off the undefeated list there. So I ended up getting to the semifinal game. So I was very happy about that. Even for this year, Austin Eckler finally showing up last week. Even though he's still not getting that many touches. I think he only had I don't even know the numbers off the top of my head. But I think this week you just build a lot of momentum for him. And I think he's going to have another big week against a very skeptical D-line for the Cleveland Browns here. So I'm excited for the season and as well as this matchup this week. So Miles Sanders finally stepped up as well. And we just got to keep on keeping on here. So I'm excited for it. I taken myself to win this game, of course, 143 to about 120.
Nice. I like it. So Barry, talk to us about the next matchup that we have on our list here is Chasing Canton, Roden versus Abdication and Adam. So Roden versus Adam in the next matchup we got here.
Yeah. With this matchup here, Roden just did a trade over the last couple days or so and he got the triple stack. So he's got Brady, Evans, and Fournette. This was a big move for Dave. Dave, in this projection, it's 137 to 130 against a pretty good Adam team. Adam's slowly creeping back up he's in third place right now. So I thought that was a very pivotal move for Dave. He's got a pretty good defense as well. Defensive players really make a big difference in this league here. So I know Dave's matchup here. Yeah. I think in this matchup, I'm going to go with the upset, though. I'm going to take Adam to keep riding high here. I just think that Adam's team can score a lot of points here, but I think maybe this week with Dave, he might take a little bit more time for his team to gel together. So I think Adam's going to keep this momentum going, and he's going to go with the upset here. I'm going 135 to 132.
Interesting. All right, I could see that. Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting matchup. To be quite honest with you, Roden made some moves this week, which a lot of people in the league were kind of questioning on it. I had people texting me asking if they could veto it, and I said no. You guys voted to not have vetoes in this league, even though I wanted vetoes, but nobody else wanted vetoes. But yeah, a lot of people were questioning Roden's motives and his moves this week because he's playing well right now. He's got a 6th spot, so like, why would you want to fuck with that? And he's training a tight end who's doing so well this year. In a year that tight ends have, for the large part, been awful outside like 3 of them, between Kelsey, Andrews, and Hawkinson. That would be the only 3. So yeah, interesting move by Roden this week. A lot of weird flurries of trades, actually, and we're going to get into one right now that literally just happened. So Tasia versus Hotch. So Tasia, who, new guy to the league, took over a really dismal, an abysmal team. And when I'm talking about one of the worst teams that I've seen in a while, and it was a combination, I've said it on the show so many times, it was a combination of being so bad, but also not actually having the record of such a bad team. Because, like, if you look at the points scored last year, there was 1 point towards the end of the season. He didn't make the playoffs, thank God. But he was the number 1 spot. And I was like, what? The guy who's made like 2 moves all season. He has like I think bottom. Yeah, he was like either bottom 2 or bottom 3 points scored on the season, but he had the least amount of points scored on him. So he's the luck of that fucking Irish bastard. But yeah, so Tasia takes over this team. Tasia's got this team kind of in a really good spot right now. 2-2. We said this. If Tasia was at least 500 by the time D-Hop came back, pump the brakes. You know what I mean? Because I think this guy is going to make the playoffs if things continue to go his way. And this is a big test for him. He's going against the reigning champion, Matt Hotchu. Some people said he shouldn't even be 2-2 right now. He should be 0-4, maybe 1-3 right now, based on his draft and what he did. And things are panning out for him. But yeah, so Tasia drafted Jalen Hurts. Tasia ends up trading Jalen Hurts for Aaron Rodgers and CeeDee Lamb. So bolstering that. On top of that, this week, Jonathan Taylor's out for Paul. So Naheem Hines comes in. So that's a starting back. Another guy's got his team. So Taja's like kind of working the whole system right now, trading Jalen Hurts to Stu badly needed it. We'll get into that in a little bit. He needed that badly. He ends up getting a CeeDee Lamb and Aaron Rodgers out of it. Aaron Rodgers not having a good year, but Aaron Rodgers is not a bad quarterback to put in there. All those numbers have been really shitty, probably averaging about a 20. It's not bad, especially when he's had Hurts, who's kind of carried him so far. But we're going to go into the play-by-play right here. But I'll tell you what, Taja's got manager of the year. If Stu wasn't number 1 right now, I would say Tasia would be locked up at manager of the year. But right now, Stu's got the number. Stu's leading that manager of the year award right now, or comeback player of the year award. So it's going to be an interesting race for that midseason award show. But yeah, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers. Josh Allen versus Pittsburgh, Aaron Rodgers versus the Giants. Again, Giants that's in London. Low scoring games in London. Generally very low scoring games in London. Josh Allen, I'm going to go Josh Allen over Rodgers. Jamar Chase at Baltimore, CeeDee Lamb at LA. That's a close one. I'm going to go Chase. Chase had a really bad week last week. He's also going against the worst defense in the league, the worst secondary in the league. That and that on top of Cincinnati just dominates Baltimore. They have something again. They have something on Baltimore. I don't know what it is, but they have it. And Chase come off a bad week. Give me Jamar Chase over CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, and Taja's also saying, yeah, it's true, Taja. Yeah, Taja's also saying that Lamb has a great tender, which he does. I think Stu wants all in on the season. He wants all in on the championship this year. That's why he's giving up good tenders. He's also got a good team, but Stu wants eyes on the prize. He wants a championship this year, so good for him. So then we got Khalil Herbert versus Naheem Hines. This is an interesting one. If Demont doesn't play, that's a great start. Herbert's great. Demont does play, then you got a 50-50 backfield. Not good. Hines, on the other hand, he's a guy that everyone thought was going to have standalone value going into the season. He's got Jonathan Taylor out right now. So Jonathan Taylor's out. That's Paul's guy. And he's got Naheem Hines in there. Naheem Hines is a great receiving back in the backfield. He can also run the ball. Also going against a really good run defense and good defense overall. However, I think Hines is going to get a lot of catches out of the backfield tonight. Being in there all 3 downs, he's going to get a lot of catches tonight. I think Hines, man, it all depends about Demont. But just off of this, I'll take Herbert. But if Demont plays, I'm a Hines guy. So that's where I am on that. Hockenson and Conklin. If Hockenson plays, Hockenson's the guy. Hockenson, Andrews, and Kelsey, I'm not going against those 3 this year. Conklin, not bad, but he's not a Hockenson level, especially after last week. Especially Ahmad-Ra of St. Brown's not playing this week. He's going to pepper him with targets again. So, yeah, there you go. All right. So, you got Dameon Pierce, Chris Godwin. I like Dameon Pierce, man. That guy's a bell cow. Chris Godwin, you saw he was just blocking his fucking leg gave out the other night. So that's got to be worrisome. The guy's not 100% healthy. But yeah, I'm going to go Dameon Pierce on an edge there slightly. Although Atlanta's defense is pretty shitty. That's a wash. I'm not giving it to anybody. That's a wash. Justin Jefferson, Aaron Jones. I'm probably going to go Aaron Jones here. The bell cow aspect of it, more touches overall. I'm not the biggest Justin Jefferson fan. I don't know what it is. But I like Aaron Jones between those two. Olave, Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen, is he going to play this week? I have no idea. Let's see here. Did not practice again Thursday. That doesn't bode well for him. So let's say Keenan Allen doesn't play. Taja's got a deep team. He's got Michael Thomas on his bench. He's got Brandon Cooks on his bench. He's got Josh Reynolds on his bench. Pretty solid. So he can go anybody he wants to in that last spot. Yeah, man. I think projection-wise, 138 to 129, it's a pretty high-scoring game. I think Hotch wins, and I think it's going to be a close one. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Taja ends up eking this one out, but I'm gonna lean slightly Hotch. Let's go at 135 to 127. I think it's going to be that kind of game. And Taja really hasn't had a big blowout of a game yet, so he could easily blow up and have a 130-plus kind of performance. But I'm going to go Hotch and a slight win this week. Bear, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm going to stay on the Taja train here.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He's won 2 in a row, and he made a big deal today. As I told him earlier, I thought it was a big move for him. And he's got a lot of favorable matchups here. I like the Rodgers against the Giants, and I love the CeeDee Lamb against the Rams here. I think that's going to be because after last week with the Rams, like they didn't really look good at all with their corners, and so I just think that Lamb's going to give it to him. So I'm taking Taja here on the upset, and also with the Aaron Jones and Rodgers stack. The stack is back.
Ooh, the TD stackers. Ooh.
Yeah, the TD stackers. However you want to call it.
NB stackers to TD stackers.
Might need to get him a jersey for next season.
We'll see if that results in some third places like you got.
Yeah, and it's just, and even for Hotch's team, Hotch, like he just finds a way to get it done. But the whole Jefferson situation, the Bears secondary, being a fan, the Bears secondary has actually been pretty good this year.
Yeah,
and I think they're going to be, all over, finding a way to be all over Jefferson here. Even though it was the same situation last week, and he still had 10 receptions. I'm pretty sure he scored too, and like over 120 yards receiving. So, but I'm taking Taja on the upset here. I'm going to go 135 to say 127 here.
Okay. I mean, hey, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised either way with this one. But yeah, it's going to be a good one. I think, Hotch was one of the ones in the league who really didn't know who Taja was when we first announced it. He thought we should have voted on it. And we didn't, and he was okay with it. And I think, once he kind of heard who Tasia was and how he kind of got a lot of us young bucks when we were at the time into fantasy, me, you, ZT, and all the guys, Stu. I think Hotch is okay with it. And now Hotch gets to see what he's up against, the kind of guy he's up against, the team that a lot of people counted out being taken over CP's team. Maybe people said it was going to be a 2-year rebuild. I think Taja's sitting here right now. He knows at least he knows that 2 of his keepers are going into next year. And he's sitting here right now 2-2 with a team that's not fully healthy yet. Pretty solid. This is going to be a team you're reckoning with here. And if Tasia can upgrade his quarterback situation, I don't know how he's going to do that, but from Rodgers to someone better maybe. That's a team to be reckoned with. I'm just saying, be careful. Be careful. But so next one we got all right, let's do this. Let's talk about Stu and Paul, Barry.
All right. So we got Stu and Paul here. Now, obviously Stu just made the trade with Tasia here. And Paul also made a trade over the week too. So he's got with this matchup here, the projections 132, 127, Paul here. I don't know. In this matchup, we go by game or player by player here. So we have Hurts against Herbert. Hurts is playing Arizona Cardinals here. Hurts has been arguably the fantasy MVP of the year so far, as I mentioned last week. And then you have Justin Herbert, who, with the cracked rib, he looked pretty good last week. Yeah. Although it was against the pretty crappy Texans team, but I'm going to give that matchup to Jalen Hurts. And then you have Hollywood Brown against Stephon Diggs. Those of you know, I'm a huge Stephon Diggs fan. Hashtag Go Terps there. I got to throw that in every time. Diggs, I'm taking Diggs in that matchup. And then you have Nick Chubb against Breece Hall. Nick Chubb, I'm taking him. He averages 5 yards a carry, which is insane. And against a really decimated D-line for the Chargers, I'm going to take Chubb. And then you have Goddard versus Andrews. This is going to be pretty good too. So it's a pretty good matchup here. Both guys get a lot of targets, but obviously I'm going to take Mark Andrews here. Then you have Adam Thielen versus Devontae Smith. Adam Thielen's going to be playing against my Bears, which, as I mentioned earlier, I think Jefferson's going to be getting shadowed all game. And Adam Thielen, who's been playing well recently, so he's going to get a lot of targets. And then Devontae Smith, he's been really well this season. And then you have Michael Pittman Jr. against Wilson there. I'm going to take Pittman here. I think Pittman's going to have a pretty decent game against the Broncos here. Then you have Jacobs and then Kareem Hunt. Jacobs in a contract year, he's been playing pretty well for them. And then you also have Kareem Hunt here. Kareem Hunt always finds a way to be productive in his games. So I'm going to take the Jacobs matchup. And then the kicking situation, going to go with Tucker over Suckup. And with that being said, I'm going to take Paul to win this matchup here. I think he finds a way to get it done because Paul's been very active on the waiver wire list. He's been texting owners like constantly about like different deals he can get done, and he finds a way to get it done. So I'm going to find Cobb, or excuse me, not Cobb, obviously not Cobb. I'm going to find Paul winning this matchup 133 to 125 here for the first upset against Stu.
Yeah, I can see it. I think Stu's like should have lost a few of these matchups this year already. So yeah, I think this is a great team, the great spot for him to lose this week. I'm not as high on Hotch's team or Paul's team as some people are. I do think this week, I think he's going to win this week, but I don't know, man. I'm just not a big fan of this whole being rookie reliant, especially when you're rookie reliant on, I don't know, 2 Jets players. I don't know, man. There's something about that does not smell championship roster to me. Like, I'm looking at it, and hey, I love the fact that Paul's so active and he wants to do trades all the time and is always trying to get better with his team. I'm just not like, I'm not high on it, man. I know he's got Jonathan Taylor on his, who's not playing right now, but like, who would have been his last flex? You know, I'm curious about that.
He's got some options.
Yeah.
He's got Samuel against I think that could be a pretty high scoring game, and I think Samuels can get some targets there. So
Yeah, it could be. It's just that, like, none of those guys scream championship. So take out one of those guys in the starting lineup, put Jonathan Taylor in there. It's still not a team I'm like, ooh, yeah, that's a team I'm scary. You know, I think a lot of teams though aren't they're not scary though. You can look at them and be like, oh yeah, I think it's kind of what the NFL is and the way our fantasy league is. There's not like one standout team. It's like, well, your whatever your preference is. But I do think Paul does win this week. So I will say that. So big game tonight for Stu. If he wants to take this one, he needs Michael Pittman to step up. I think that's the only person he has tonight. Yeah. So he needs that. No, he's got, yeah, okay. He also has linebacker for the Colts. So big game for Stu tonight. So let's see how that goes for him. But yeah, I'm agree with you. I think Paul wins tonight. Okay. So last but not least, the last matchup of the night, or the last preview is, unfortunately, he's not here tonight to talk to us about it. I figured that was going to be the case when he kept pushing the time back and why he couldn't do it tonight. But I got one for you. This is our guy, Cobb and Dash Show's own Alex Olson's Big Berry content versus Ruben Goal. Whew. I kind of said it earlier. I kind of alluded to it. And we're going to know a little more about how I feel about his team when we do the Pancake King rankings. Let me just say this. Alex is one of those guys who's very like, when he thinks he knows someone, he always wants to find like that diamond in the rough. Always like that. So this offseason, big on Travis Etienne. Huge on Travis Etienne. Huge. I think he drafted him like 4 leagues, if I'm not mistaken, all in the first 2 rounds. I mean, come on, man. That pick right there may have lost him a playoff spot. And, you know, we always talk about he's never won a playoff game before in this league. But it's not. It's more about like you need to win a playoff game. Now we're going backwards for the kid. We're going back. We're not even going to make the playoffs this year, possibly 1-3. I think it's over for him. And I feel bad because, like I said, the kid really cares a lot about fantasy and stuff. And so I think it's donezo for the kid. But we'll get to his matchup. Stafford, Burrow. Give me Joe Burrow against Baltimore. Burrow's going to put up numbers. Stafford looks awful. The Rams look atrocious. Cup T against give me Cup. Cup's the only person that Stafford throws to, which is why Stafford blows so much because he only looks at one guy. But it hasn't affected Cup's fantasy year because Cup's looking pretty good. I think Tej and I were on the phone with yesterday. I think we were saying that Cup's on pace for about 180 catches this year. 180 catches. And I want you to do this. If that's the pace that Cup's on, go look at every league that you're in and see who has Cup and go see where they are if they're in the playoffs or not. Because I'm going to go ahead and be on a limb here and say that if you have a Cup, you're probably in the playoff seeding right now in the top 6 because I'm pointing this out because Alex is 1-3 with having this guy who gets a 30 every week on his team. So James Conner, Najee Harris. Geez, man, I'm going to go James Conner here, but this is a wash. Neither one's really getting out of this one. But interesting to see how they rely on the run with Pickett in for the entire game. So we'll see how that goes. Freiermuth and Pitts. Freiermuth has been pretty solid this year, so I'm going to go Freiermuth here. So Alex gets his second win. Because Pitts really isn't that shit either. Like Pitts is another one. It's like, oh man, I drafted this guy so high or kept this guy. And it's just, and I don't even need to say anything about Ruben's team. We've already said enough about it, and we're going to continue to say more about it later. But I'm not even going to look at this that much. Christian Kirk, solid. I like that. I like that he got him. Everyone just throws him in trades in this league. I don't understand what's going on with people in this league, but Kirk and Gabriel Davis. Give me Kirk over Gabriel Davis. I think the target share he gets, it's insane. Singletary, Romeo Doubs. Give me Singletary. And then Hunter Renfrow. Is he playing this week? Let me see here. He was upgraded. Okay. Yeah, okay, he's going to play. He was upgraded from the limited to full practice today. So, yeah, he's going to play. He hasn't done shit this year. And Corey Davis, who's on the waiver wire in one of my other leagues. So that just shows you how bad Ruben's team is. That like a guy who's like on the waiver wire in a league that's not even as deep as this one. He's a free agent. Yeah, so pretty rough on the other side. So let me put it to you this way: if Alex loses this game, it's a wrap. It's over for the kid. Done. Him, I'm packing my bags, trading what I can to get draft picks for next year, because if you lose to this team, you can actually safely say it's over. There's no outlier here. That's the shittiest team in the league by a wide margin. So, yeah, I think Alex wins 125-101. That's my projection for this game. Barry, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you on Alex's obviously I'm with you on the Alex and the Big Berry content. Hasn't done so well with him on the on his success rate, making it to the playoffs and not winning there. So we play to win, and we don't play just to get into the playoffs. So with that being said, as bad as Stafford looked, there's no way he's going to look that bad for the rest of the season. So I think that's going to be a very favorable stack towards the rest of the season. So I'm taking Alex to win this game, that he should win against Ruben. It's just Ruben's already in. He's already in last place. He's still in last place, and I think he'll continue to be in last place for the rest of the season. So I'm taking Alex to win this one. I'm going 133-121.
Yeah. But again, it's do or die. If Alex loses this game, done. It's over.
Yeah, I agree with that. So Alex, you got to show up, man.
Yeah, because one thing to be 1-3, it's another thing to be 1-4. Because 1-4, you're 3 games out of the hole, and that's done. 1-3, you're 2 games. That's not so bad, because you win 1, you're 2-3. You win 1, you're 3-3. But you're 1-4, it's over. And it's sad too, because I love the Berry streak. I'm the one who started the Berry streak. You know, I don't want to see it go to waste, and it might go to waste this year, unfortunately.
Yeah. Also, to add on to that, yeah, I'm just feeling bad for Christian Kirk here. He's been tossed around in this league like a rag doll, and he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. So I think he will have a big game against a really shitty Houston Texans defense there. So just to add on to that. But
had I known that people were going to be trading him like as a throw-in every trade, I would have fucking traded you something for him. I actually like Christian Kirk. I have him in 2 leagues.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Good player.
It's amazing. Yeah, he's a solid like 10. He's got a good floor this year. It's like a 10. Okay, so now we're gonna get to the best part of the show, which is the Pancake King rankings, and that's presented by our gracious sponsor in IHOP. So yeah, we're gonna give a little shout out to our boys from IHOP. So take a quick break. And that's IHOP, the home of the stack. Go to IHOP and get your stacks. But anyway, it's Pancake King rankings time. So the way this goes, we're going to start from 7. We're going to go down to 12. So Barry, I'll go first with my number 7. My number 7 overall is David Roden. Right now he's the 6th spot. I think he's going to lose this week. But I think he would have been my 6th spot if he hadn't done all those trades this week. Getting rid of Mark Andrews really hurt his team. He's deeper, and I think he likes the triple stack that he has with Fournette, Evans, and Brady, which is cool. Hey, you're talking the triple stack king. Okay, we just had the IHOP, the king, the pancake stacks. I like stacks. I like pancake stacks, and I like stacks, especially when it's a triple stack. So I just don't know if this is the right stack. And I wouldn't have gotten rid of Andrews to like get this like the whole package that he got in order to get to get the guys he got to have the Fournette and all the other stuff he has. And to give Andrews away to Paul, I mean, I don't know. I didn't like it. So like I said, I had a lot of people texting me asking if we could veto this trade. So that's how people thought about the trade. So that's where I was at. So 7 for him. Again, I like Roden's team not as much as I did last week anymore, but I still think he can make the playoffs. But right now he's my 7th spot. Barry?
Yeah. Sorry, the connection went out there for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, so my
Hey,
Can you hear me?
Can you speak? Keep speaking. Keep speaking.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't. You're
Hear me?
frozen. So once you come out, come back in. Come back in. Yep. Well, technical difficulties, people. That's what happens. Luckily, I do the podcasting thing, so I can, I could talk and banter while our guys getting things squared away. But yeah, 7th spot. I had Roden. I love Roden. I've been his biggest guy on the show going back 2 years now. I just, what are you doing trading Mark Andrews for nothing? Especially when it's a year when the tight end is so bad. You're doing that. I just don't get it. Okay. I think Barry's back on here. Barry, so give us who your 7th person is.
Can you hear me okay first?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So for my 7th seed, I'm actually taking myself here.
Ooh.
I think this is a very pivotal week for me because it's always been a pivotal week in the past. Whenever I play ZT, it could be the make or break of my season. And this could be I view myself of winning this game, but this is the one that will set me over the edge and get me to that playoff hump. And then I can create that momentum. So it's a big matchup here.
Huge. It's a really huge matchup. Interesting. Okay, so my 8th spot, I got a guy here that for some, this happened with this guy a couple of years ago. I think it was one of his first 2 years in the league when he actually had a better team. So back then, I think I was probably more scared of his team. But my 8th spot's Adam. I'm not high on his team at all. When you have a quarterback situation, even Dak didn't look good. That's the thing. Dak didn't look good when Dak was in there. I know it was only one game, but you got a quarterback situation of Dak, Goff, and Trevor Lawrence. I've been a guy in this league in the past who kind of like didn't care about quarterback. I kind of let it go. It's kind of very average the quarterback. And I kind of, I punted quarterback really and just got like the next best guy, right? Like rounds 8 or 9. This is what this team is. It's a good team, but when you don't have a quarterback kind of manning the ship, you're not going to win this league. Go look at the quarterbacks who've won this league going back the last 5 to 7 years. It's been a top 5, top 4 quarterback every year. And that's just look at it. I'm not making it up. I wish I was making it up. Look at it. That's the way it is. Jared Goff starting this week. I know it's playing my matchup. And Jared Goff's looked pretty good this year. But you're going against New England. I think the last time New England or Belichick played against Goff, it may have been that Super Bowl. And correct me if I'm wrong, Barry. Did the Rams score a touchdown in that Super Bowl?
They did not.
No. So Jared Goff's going against him. I know the Lions been putting up numbers. They're not winning. Belichick's going to dominate them. I think Detroit's going to lose big time this weekend. And Bailey Zappi, best. But it has nothing to do with stopping Goff. I just don't think that this team's like going to go anywhere. CMC doesn't look good with Baker. CMC doesn't look good with Baker. Drake London, that offense, the pass offense with Atlanta is not that good this year. J.K. Dobbins looks pretty solid though, so keep in mind on that. I think Dobbins can be all right going down the stretch. But overall, his team is 3-1. I know. I see that team taking a big slide soon, a very steep one, but that's what's going to happen for me. So 8 for Adam. Barry?
For my 8th seed here, I'm taking. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
For my 8th seed, I'm taking Tasia here. Big fan of the move he made, and I think he's as I mentioned last 2 weeks or even last week that he's going to be a playoff team. So he starts his momentum, or actually he started his momentum against me, but I think for this he's going to be the 8th seed, and yeah, I'm very curious to see what he does this week against his matchup. So he's my 8th seed.
Yeah, I like it. I actually have him higher than that this week. I just think where he's putting himself, I think the moves he made this week are pretty solid. I think he got rid of a quarterback, and I honestly think Hurts is going to fall off here. I don't think he's going to sustain what he's doing right now because teams are going to start the game plan for him and just kind of do what they did to him last year, the year before, and he also runs a lot too, so he could definitely get banged up. Rodgers is not going to continue at this average mediocrity thing he's doing right now. So I think Tage is the higher on the rankings for me. Number 9, it's my guy, my co-host, He's not here because he's in Portugal right now. He'll be back next week for the preview week 6. It's my guy Cobb, man. It's this ain't it. This ain't the team, man. 1-3. He's about to go 1-4, I believe, based on the team he's playing this week, the powerhouse that he's going against. It's just this is it, man. And I think it's sad because we're gonna have, for the first time ever, we're gonna have 2 of our co-hosts not make the playoffs. That's never happened. We've only done the Common Dash over this is the 3rd year now, but it's never happened before. And there's a first time for everything. I know. But I just think it's a wrap for Cobb. I'll put it because regardless of how I think his team is, I think if you look at his talent level, that's a top 6 team. But the luck of the draw, man, 1-3. He put all of his eggs in the wrong basket, the Broncos basket, which is not. It was a terrible offense to have. And yeah, I think it's over for him because he goes 1-4 tonight. You're not getting out of that hole. Because potentially I have him at 9 right now. He could be 10 next week, maybe 11 next week. So yeah, I think Cobb's at my 9 spot right now. Unfortunate because I want to be talking playoff football with guys I'm playing against when we get to the Common Dash show in the playoffs, and I'm not gonna be able to do that this year. We're gonna have to talk about my team. And it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to watch, but it's also gonna be sad because I can't pick on other people in the who are my co-hosts in the playoffs and stuff. But whatever. So yeah, Cobb is my 9 spot.
All right. And as for my 9th spot here, I'm taking ZT. I have ZT as my 9th spot. It's just that he's on a 3-game losing streak. And this is a very pivotal matchup, as I mentioned, or our matchup is very pivotal in our season. And he has my number over the past, but I think I get over the hump this week. Kamara always lights me up. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just not too much on the bench side here that I'm loving. Just, I just think right now he's my 9th seed. So,
yeah, that makes sense, man. Similar. I have ZT's my 10 spot right now. Yeah, I think ZT got rid of Kamara at a wrong time, and then he brought him back at a wrong time as well. He got rid of Kamara when Kamara was on the upswing, and they had a really good offense, the Saints team. He brings Kamara back when that team's just not the same as what they were 3 or 4 years ago when he had him, which is unfortunate. DK Metcalf, that ain't DK Metcalf that we thought we were going to get going into last season. And it's just very average team. DJ Moore hasn't been DJ Moore at all this year. It's too bad because I thought DJ Moore's a solid receiver. That offense is just ass. It's really hurting CMC. It's hurting CT too as well. Terry McLaurin, Wentz is spreading that ball around. He's not really getting the targets that he should be getting. I think Scary Terry's scary, and he's good. Got the contract. So they're going to need to find out ways to get him the ball more. Boobie Gibson's done now because Robinson's coming back. And so I think the Boobie Gibson train's done, and he didn't really do much to kind of take off with that team. And I think they're going to have more of a ball control offense when Robinson comes. Just give him the rock and let him pound it. Yeah, man, this is ZT's team. Just, hey, man, it has been I'm just going to say this. Lamar Jackson's probably been one of the best fantasy quarterbacks we've seen in a really long time. And ZT wasted Lamar Jackson's prime. I'm gonna say it. I know it's an elephant in the room. ZT wasted Lamar Jackson's prime. I think ZT's made the playoffs once, or I think 0 times in the Lamar Jackson era, actually. Which is crazy because Lamar Jackson's been one of the top fantasy quarterbacks in the last 20 years. Yes, man, ZT, it's unfortunate. I don't know how he's doing with his life right now. I see him drinking brews at noon on Thursdays. I hope everything's all right with him because this fantasy team just hasn't been right. And he wants to brag about getting being a winner of the basement league before it was even called a basement league, before it was even a keeper league. And he wants his name on the trophy. No, dude, that's not working that way. I just think he's wasting Lamar Jackson's prime. And if I'm ZT, ship Lamar Jackson out, dude. Give him to a contender, man. Get some picks for him. Try to rebuild because Lamar Jackson ain't doing shit for you. That's the bottom line. It's the bottom line because Dash said so. All right, so Barry, who's your 10 spot?
With my 10th spot here, I'm taking Cobb here. A lot of question marks. Obviously, he's had his championship run over the last couple of years. He almost repeated. He's on a losing streak as well, and This is a big matchup for him, right? You have Russell Wilson, as I mentioned earlier, against Cortland Sutton, and then you have the Melvin Gordon situation. Is he gonna get the joke of the carries here? We don't know. So we're gonna find that out today. I love Mixon. I think he'll get hot eventually. But with that, I'm just taking Cobb at 10 here. He's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I have him at 9 because I think his team is talented. I just think he's going to lose again at 1-4, man. You can't climb out of 1-4 spot. That's not how it works. Unfortunate. So, okay, my 11 team, I've kind of already made a little bit of noise about this guy already in the show, but I'm gonna dig in a little bit more. You know, he knows he said he's gonna drop in. I've had enough of this guy. Let's be honest. Comes on here acting like he knows all about these numbers. He knows everything. And I feel bad for the guy. Hey, don't get me wrong. I feel bad for this kid. He cares about fantasy more than anybody I've ever met in my life. Anybody. That's Tasia included. Taja's probably one of the number one fantasy guys I've ever met in my life. I was that at one point. But people, you know, the spreadsheets, the buying, all these subscriptions, making like different color like things. I'm not an Excel guy, so that's why I'm going to give the Excel spreadsheet guys a little more love than me because, you know, you're doing a little more work than me. I'm fucking doing it all from the knowledge. And, you know, I think there's something to be said about that too. If I could do it all from the brain and the noggin and I can just write these things down on a piece of paper and like on a spread without looking at anything, just look and do my own research, but whatever. But you got a guy like Alex who's doing multicolored spreadsheets on Excel. He's talking about fantasy starting in February. He wants to do the Cobb and Dash show starting in March and do a weekly episode. It's like, dude, no, we're not doing that in March. But to have all that, right? And this is the thing. To have all that and to be so bad. And then the fact that you have Cooper Kupp, who's probably arguably, like ZT with the Lamar Jackson, arguably the best fantasy player or best wide receiver we've seen in fantasy going back last 20 years. Because the guy's on pace for 180 catches. I don't think anybody realizes how much that is. That's just on catches alone, 180 points on the season. That's insane. That's the pace he's at right now. I'm not making this up. This is real stuff, guys. And he's got this guy on his team, not going to amount to anything. I mean, 1-3 right now. He's going to win. If he wins this week, he's back in things, right? He can kind of right the ship a little bit. But he needs Matt Stafford to turn it around. He made some trades this week to try to turn things around. Travis Etienne didn't hit. He's relying on Devin Singletary to be his second flex. He's relying on James Conner to be his number one running back. It's a really bad team. And then at the manning of the ship is our guy, Matt Stafford, who Matt Stafford has not looked like the Super Bowl quarterback as last year. He had that elbow injury in the offseason, who a lot of pitchers get that, and they miss months for that. And, like, I think it is affecting him more than we know. But what I can say is Alex didn't do a good job of masking the quarterback deficiency that he has on his team with his roster. He got Christian Kirk as a throw-in on the trade. Perfect. Good stuff. But this is a bad team. And I'm going to say this again. If Alex loses to Ruben, we will have a different Pancake King on the show next week. I swear to God. If Alex loses to Ruben, not only is Alex done, and I think he should think about trading all of his guys on his team to get as much as he can, Alex is done. A guy who's never won a playoff game in this league. And then we're gonna talk about losing to the team. It's probably the worst team I've ever seen in this league, created in this league, is Ruben's team. But if Ruben can somehow grind out a dub against Alex this weekend, which I don't think is going to happen, but if it does happen, we got ourselves a new Pancake King. And I think Alex should really consider trading some of the guys to get some assets for next year. That's where I'm at with that. Who's your 11 spot, Barry?
Yeah, I mean, you just talked about him, Alex. Alex, as I mentioned, and as we always mention on the show here, the Big Barry content, his luck with Barry, hence the reason why I got my own team name, the luck of the Alex, is that for that specific reason. He hasn't done much or anything in the playoffs, and he's playing Ruben. And Alex, if you don't beat Ruben this week, you should change your team name to the Wedding Planners, because you might be out of it. You will be out of it at that time. So this is a big week for you, and so that's the reason why I have you at my 11th seed. I wasn't big on the Etienne pick in the beginning of the season or at the draft. I love James Robinson, have him in another league, and he's the number one guy over there. So the cup situation, as I mentioned earlier, I think Stafford's going to get hot and they're going to connect real soon. So, but I just have you at my 11th seed right now. So you got a lot of work to do, man. This is a big week for you. So
Huge week. I'm telling you, he's done if he loses this week. Over. Finish. He needs to
Wedding
trade
planners.
the wedding planners. Yeah, the wedding planners wedding planners. Shit, man, he needs to go to IHOP like ASAP. If I'm him, I'm getting the IHOP thing done like fast, so I don't have to do it next year. Just get it out of the way now. Well, you do it now actually, because if you lose to Ruben, you know you're going to be the Pancake King. Go do the IHOP thing now. Carb load. Okay, so now Tasia brings up a good point here. In his leagues, the Cup team total records are 18-14. Tasia, what is how many leagues are you in? I want to see what that averages out to. So 32 or 4 games in. What would be the average? What would be the record for that? For 18-14. I'm saying like in a singular like level. What would that be? How many leagues you're in? Give him time to address that. But for now, we're going to do our Pancake King, which I think everyone knows who that is. It's kind of getting boring at this point. So it might be nice to actually have a new Pancake King. So Ruben fucking beat Alex's ass this week. Just do it. I'm going to say it. Do it. But now we're going to do the Pancake King intro.
You are the Pancake King, young and sweet, hunting fan of thieves. Ooh, see that boy, watch that taste, digging the Pancake King.
If you don't think about that song whenever you hear that ABBA song from the rest of your life, you're doing life wrong, because that song is fucking fire, dude. I love that song. But anyway, so Pancake King here is Ruben again. I don't really have to say. I don't have much to say about this team. Guys got Romeo Doubs as a second flex. I think that's all I have to say about it. Really, I don't really have to say much more than that. I mean, it's really bad. And what's worse is his bench, because his bench makes Romeo Doubs look like a fucking wide receiver 1. That's how bad his team is. Hey, man. I love Ruben. I know he's hanging out with Adler right now. It's also, hey, Ruben, let me tell you this, buddy. I know you and him had you guys went back and forth back in the day. You kind of didn't pay him when he won your fantasy league. So I'm glad that about near 10 years later, you kind of patched things up, and I saw you hanging out with him in New York. So I'm happy for you, buddy. So good job for letting bygones be bygones, man. No holding any grudges. But yeah, I'm holding a grudge against your team though, because it's really shitty, and you're the Pancake King again for the 4th week running, or fifth week running. So yeah, Ruben 1-3, lowest scoring team in the league. Romeo Doubs and Corey Davis. Corey Davis is his last flex. Like I said earlier, Corey Davis is a free agent in some of my other leagues that I have. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough sled out for my guy Ruby. Good kid though. He's a good kid. Barry, who's your Pancake King?
Yeah, I mean, it got to go with Ruben here. With all the points you mentioned, Dash, Romeo Doubs as a flex here is not the best option. With that being said, here I've got some motivation for you.
No, it's not yet.
Oh, a little too early. Well, either way, yeah, I mean, his roster is looking rough. So, yeah,
right.
Top to bottom, not good.
Yeah, but you're gonna have some motivation for him. So we're gonna go to the Barry's Motivational Squeeze, the newest segment of the show, the Barry's Motivational Squeeze, and also brought to you by Mark Sperry Fitness. If you need some motivation in your life, Mark Sperry's your guy. Sorry, wrong thing there.
This is why you're fucking holding back, and I'm tired of the BS.
All right, Barry. What?
Yeah.
What's your motivation for our guy Ruben?
Yeah, you heard myself there. I'm tired of the BS. He's got no fab points here. It's like week 5 of the season, and he's got no more fab points left. So, with that being said, I'm Ruben. You can definitely beat Alex in this matchup here. So which will make Alex the real Pancake King. So this is a big week for you. This is a big week for you, and I think you can win this actually. So I'm changing my pick from Alex winning to Ruben with the upset here because I think the real Pancake King is Alex here. So you got this, man. You can do this. I believe in you, Ruben. So this is all you.
I can't say much more than that, man. That's good stuff right there, Barry. Yeah, I mean, it's like the when the Lions were 0-16, and as they kept getting closer to the 0-16 marker, you knew that every week you're going to get the Lions' best shot. They went 0-16 ultimately, but you knew every week they were going to give you their best shot. That's Ruben. And Ruben knows this might be his best shot to get out of that 1-3 hole that he's in. So Ruben's going to end up winning. Ruben's probably going to win this game, actually. Now that I think about it, Alex's refusal to be on the show tonight, soft, really soft. And I know you don't want to be on the show, Alex. I know you don't want to hear your how bad your team is, but like, come on the show, dude. You say you're going to be on. So I'll be on at 6:15. No, I'll be on at 6:25. I'll drop in like Cobb. You never dropped in. It's been an hour. We even extend the show a little more for you. But you're right. Ruben is going to win this week, and Alex is going to be done. Alex will not, again, another season goes by in the BL Plus where Alex will not get a win in the playoffs. Yet again, another one. So that does it for us, folks. You heard us. I mean, we were blunt this week. We weren't holding back. As you heard in Barry's motivational squeeze intro, we don't hold back. We're tired of the BS. It's time for you to get off your ass and do something about it. Alex, Ruben, I want to see what you guys do. Who actually really wants to do something about it. So that's it for us. We'll see you guys next week as we go to preview week 6 and maybe have a new Pancake King. I hope so. We might find out a little bit more and get some more insight in tonight on how that's going to go. So for that does it for us. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good weekend, folks.